Hey there everyone, Coach Mark here. Before we dive into today's topic, make sure to find me over on Instagram as Coach Mark Estrubio. Also, I offer one-to-one coaching. It's what I do full-time and the odds are very good. I'd love to work with you. But with that being said, let's get into it. So today's video is a bit of a departure from my normal content. This is honestly more of a gossip and general thoughts video. For those of you who are not aware, World's Strongest Man is owned by IGM, which in turn is owned by Endeavor. Now, Endeavor actually owns WWE, and all signs point to the recent World's Strongest Man television contract ending, which could have really big implications for that particular event, which I'll dive into right now. So, as I said before, IMG is owned by Endeavor. So, by the transitive property, we can say that World's Strongest Man is owned by Endeavor. Now, the broadcast rights to World's Strongest Man have historically been subject to exclusivity agreements with CBS in the USA and Channel 5 in the UK. But these agreements, from every bit of research I've done, have now expired, which is also why up until potentially next year, there's never been a live stream of World's Strongest Man, and instead it's just been all of us refreshing a spreadsheet or finding questionable Instagram live streams to keep up with what should be the biggest event in the world of strongman. Now, when it comes to the broadcasting of World's Strongest Man, I think it's important to understand that from its inception, World's Strongest Man was a television show first, a sporting event second. It was always meant to be sort of a high broadcast. You have editing, there's voiceovers, sponsored content, and a story. They try to paint a narrative after the fact. So, for example, if you've watched any World's Strongest Man broadcast, a lot of that commentary is added in after the transitions, all those edits. It helps make it for a more enthralling television package. And for Channel 5, for example, Christmas time broadcast, that brings in a ton of advertiser revenue. Again, World's Strongest Man is a commercial product. Now, with it being a commercial product owned by Endeavor, which incidentally was taken private by an equity firm in 2025, what we want to see is what this could mean for World's Strongest Man. And I think one of the most important reference points we can actually use is Endeavor's treatment of WWE. So in this case, again, we're looking at Endeavor because they're the parent company. Endeavor also owns TKO, which oversees the WWE and UFC. Now, the WWE itself in this Endeavor era has had a massive focus on maximizing profits. And this is done through sponsored content, including ads on the rings, during premium live events, increased ticket prices, as well as talent cuts. It's very much min-maxing the WWE to maximize the profit of it while minimizing costs, as it was purchased using a debt-leveraged buyout. Now, it's very easy to be pessimistic about the future of World's Strongest Man, especially recognizing Endeavor's cost-cutting measures and how that has affected the W product. However, I think that it is worth looking at World's Strongest Man itself from a purely economic standpoint, because ultimately Endeavor is going to look at how it can get the most money possible. And if we look at World's Strongest Man, while it is historically the premium event, the simple fact is, for athletes, strongman is their job. This is how they get paid, and the harsh reality is World's Strongest Man economically does not keep up. The prize money is lesser, the payout time frame is reduced, and there's a delayed broadcast. And for a lot of these athletes who sell merch, who offer coaching services, they need immediate exposure. And the streaming and social media era has been very important for a lot of these athletes to be successful in running their businesses. An athlete is both a commodity and a business if they're offering coaching or merch services, right? Now, what it could mean ultimately with this potential situation regarding the streaming rights or television rights is, on the upside, we could easily see World's Strongest Man migrate over to Netflix, much like they did with WWE. And what this means is we would have now access to a live stream. I imagine they would lock it behind an extra cost, as that is sort of what Endeavor does. Additionally, if you're watching the WWE product right now, there's sort of a bit of a UFC-ification of it, in that what they're doing is they've actually brought back, or should I say, reduced the amount of narrative focus with WWE. There's a lot more emphasis on in-ring action and having a more gritty, grounded bit of storytelling. You can see the bleed over from UFC into WWE. And in that same capacity, this actually benefits World's Strongest Man because now it can be treated as more of a true sporting event as opposed to spectacle. However, there is a huge downside, and that is Endeavor could very well simply kill World's Strongest Man if they don't feel they're going to make any money off of it. Additionally, we could see even more egregious product placement and commercialization of it. However, again, it's up to the individual and for us as viewers whether we think that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, we're already seeing it to some extent in World's Strongest Man with stuff like the Knack safety box deadlifts and whatnot. So regardless, there's simply two ways of looking at what this could mean for the future of the venerable World's Strongest Man competition. I mean, this was a really quick one because, like I said, this was just me sort of spitballing on what this means. I personally think this is actually a great opportunity. What I think is most likely going to happen is once those television contracts expire, I think Endeavor will offer a live stream, but they're going to charge a premium for it. But hopefully with that means more prize money and really getting World's Strongest Man back to being a premier high-level show, getting competitive amounts of prize money and really promoting it as a legitimate sport as opposed to a televised spectacle that we have seen historically. But let me know what your thoughts are. Hit me in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'll see you folks in the next video.